Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. You're watching Plum Bob Diaries with MJ, and today we're back in my nostalgia build series called Memory Lane with MJ. So anyway, we are now to our third house down memory lane. So if you are new, and maybe if you're not new, you've seen the other post. Just to recap, we've gone down memory lane with how I've been building throughout the years, ever since like pre-launch of Growing Together. And that's pretty much where the evolution of my building took place, in learning how to, expand what I already did. So I've been playing the game for over like 10 years. Been a long time simmer. Even before The Sims 4 I was playing, but it wasn't until The Sims 4 that I got into building. I would build all of my houses, period. But let's just say my exteriors weren't too great, and through the process of trying to get better, like, I started building better builds overall. But I thought, why not take you guys along the journey of me of going down memory lane and looking at all my builds, cringeworthy and all, and to, where I've come today. So anyway, we've gone to this house, which is our 90s family starter. So this home was inspired by the 90s with vintage carpet and wood trim, and it definitely has that like modest low income sort of feel to it, and I love that. And then over here, we kind of experienced the total opposite. We experienced a home that was very modern and kind of luxurious on the inside. It's still, within a suburban, so it is still, like achievable, not too luxurious to be, super expensive, but it is a very nice home, and it was very, at least for me, captured the Pinterest aesthetic that I wanted to go for. And then over here, what we're gonna look at today is this beauty. Now, to some of you, this might be the ugliest house on the block, but to me, it's my most favorite. It is, what can I say? Was it the third one? I don't know. Okay, I can't remember exactly if I made this one before that one across the street. I want to say I did, but nonetheless, like, let me guys share with you why this is my absolute favorite house on the block. So I already mentioned that I was inspired by Sid Mack to learn how to do more aged weathered builds, because she had a challenge build video that she did, taking a house and renovating it from the 80s to the 90s to the 2000s, early 2000s to the present day. And I really like what she did when she started off in the older style builds, and I'm like, she really captured the essence of that. But anyway, I had this itch in me to not only make a family home at the time, but also to make it an 80s family home. I really was like stuck on this vibe of like, yeah, I want to make an 80s style. So that's what we went for. So there's so many gems in this house. You guys are going to be surprised by everything that you see. I promise you, there's so much in this house to look forward to, and I can't wait to show you guys. It's going to be awesome. So stay tuned. All right, so let's get into it. First of all, let's talk about the exterior and what you see. You may have seen a little bit of a peekaboo of the house as I was touring these other two, so you kind of know what they look like in the back. There's a lot going on back there, but we will revisit that area. But in the front, here's what's going on. So again, a lot of wood trim. It's very old. Over here, I've implied that this is sort of a driveway to a garage. But instead of a garage door, we have windows here. So I kind of wanted to allude that, oh, it's since been renovated. It's been an 80s renovation. And to add more characters to the place, we have kissing flamingos out front. Now, who would be the person to put their flamingos in a way to make them look like they're kissing. You will meet the family in a bit. They are quite the characters. And yeah, just a basic garden. Yeah, went for that like very like, they're cared for, they're tended, but not overtly, you know, trimmed and hemmed up and all of that. So another cool thing about this place, it looks so good. I was still learning how the roof. This roof looked good. I think it barely passed the pass threshold for how roofs should look. But anyway, it still looks good. It still captures the essence of an older home. So anyway, back down to this porch. So this porch is pretty cool. It has a front door and a sliding door to the inside. I've seen this on a couple of different homes too, and even with some apartments there's this. But yeah, the porch itself, just like how I did for like the other porch over here, I love when there's like, porches capture a moment of what happens here, whether, for conversation or for like playing cards or, just mingling with the neighbors. I love it. So as you can see, we got some mismatch chairs out here and we got a little cooler. So it was my idea that with the cooler here, like, oh, the Sims could, drink some beer out of the cooler. Now, we don't have beer in the game, but hey, it's really cool to just to have the, the vibe and the essence there. They could pull out some soda and sit there and chill with the guys. So I picture the dad in this family to do that. Now, this home in particular, I had an 80s aesthetic in my mind. I was looking up references on Pinterest. Mind you, I digged deep. I did some research and I did some mood boarding for this. So it really nails it. And on top of that, the family that I made specifically to go here after I made it, they are based off of the Married with Children. Is it called Married with Kids or Married with Children? TV show. Very comical TV show. It's so good. But yeah, let's get into it. Let's go on in. Oh, I actually didn't knock on the door. So let's have our landlord. Shout out to Sunny. Sunny Boulevard is back and he is giving us another tour of a property. Alrighty, so we're gonna come on in. So right away, I'm actually, I'm not gonna pause it like I usually do. Let's actually enjoy this build. So soon as you walk in, oh, there's a lot of great stuff going on. Look at this little kid over here watching Kids Bob. That is so, oh my gosh. Now, I usually pause this when I'm giving tours because I don't want her to burn the place down because, I put grills at almost every build that I make. But anyway, so over here we got an entryway. Theirs is not much of an entryway. The most that they've got is just this little piece of tile at the front of their home that just suggests that, hey, this is the entryway. Which is still cool with me. There's still a little cold right here. I usually do it up. But in this case, this felt right. And indeed, it's not taken away from, it shows that the family didn't care that much. And that's okay. They passed the vibe check because that's sort of what I was going for. Now, the door here right off of the entryway, would it be access to the garage? You could come in, like, if the garage doors were still intact. Again, this is the story with the house, that the garage doors have been removed and since, like, been replaced with windows because it's been renovated. They don't need it anymore. Anyway, this is access to the garage. We'll get there, okay? We will get there. But yeah, let's check out this living room. Now, here's the cool thing about the living room. Oh my gosh, from the color schemes to the furniture to the media center. Let me share it all with you. Again, this is so cute with this little kid over here, like watching Void Critters. Anyway, this is the Rumpkin family, by the way. They are a very funny family because they don't all they're not the sharpest tools in the box. Siblings they're either getting along or they're fighting. Miss Rita Rumpkin is the mother, and she, again, inspired by the Married with Kids TV show. She's like this gum popping, careless, nail filing mom. And the dad is the only sane one, I would think. But anyway, yeah, cool looking family. This is a set that came with cats and dogs. Um, yeah, cats and dogs pack. Now, I really like this set because it looks like a set. Now, why did I choose this for my 80s style build? This is an 80s inspired homes. Well, a lot of the pictures that I was looking at of furniture from the 80s, they had skirts at the bottom. And they were very floofy and plumped up, and they either had big patterns on there or floor print, and this was the close we had in the Sims. And at least at the time that I made this, the Basement Treasures kit was not out yet. But yeah, this is so cool. The other thing about this that makes it cool is that this looks like it's, you know, a part of the set. So technically it is a part of the set. It did come with the Brindleton Bay set, but this is not a living room piece. It looks like a living room piece. It is not a living room piece. As you can see, the siblings are teasing each other. Let me pause for a second. So I'll wait till he sits down. Oh, and then you get up. You guys are something else. Anyway, so this is actually a dining chair. It is not an armchair like the other ones, but it looks like it could go. That's why I put it here. I put it here because I wanted to make this believable. Like, this is a table. It is a like fold up table, but it's a dining table. And this this is a dining chair, it slots to this dining table, and it reminded me of those old school TV dinner tables. So I thought, how cool. Now, of course, I have this clutter item on top just to imply that, you know, this is being used. But if you want to actually eat here, you can take this tray off and it's totally functional because this chair is slotted to this table. How cool is that? The other thing, the big thing about this house is that the color scheme, it's old. Again, we got some more old green carpet. Old green carpet and pink walls. And a lot of the photos that I saw in my references to like 80s style homes, a lot of them had salmon pink walls. It was just a thing in the 80s. And another thing, if you look at the Simpsons house, what do they have? The Simpsons, made in the 80s, takes place in the 80s, also has pink walls. That was a thing. But anyway, I love this clutter and everything. Very telling of the mother. I love this tray with the and let you guys in the comments, let me know what you think about this trick. If you have not done it before, do it, because after I figured out how to do this, I'm like, oh my god, this sets the vibe for, you know, what other family I have in my Sim save file that sort of, you know, runs along the same vibe. You know, I can do that for, but I love this little, you know, pop out table. But yeah, let me know if you would want to try this, or if you've tried it already, or what do you think about this idea of just eating in front of the TV in your Sims game. I think it's so cool. Also, another thing that I saw were the TV units. As you guys could tell in my my 90s family starter, it had a media center with the cabinets. So in this case, I kind of wanted to do the same with a media center. Of course, we got a big old bulky old school television, had to, of course, and we went with that old school wood tone, had to, of course. Yeah, and that just really seals the deal with that. So I love how this turned out as well. We used Dream Home Decorator. We used top cabinets for the tops, and then we used bookcases for the sides, and we pulled it off. And it just so happened that this eco lifestyle little accent table or slash TV stand, whichever category this is from, the tone matches with these. So yeah, I was able to pull that off. Another cool thing about this build is the sliding door with the vertical blinds. Now, vertical blinds is as old can be, but they're very common in a lot of apartments that I've been to. because nobody has ever just taken them out. At least in the areas that I've lived in, the property managers hadn't taken them out. I guess if they're not broke, then don't fix them. I guess that's the mentality. But they're true signs of the 80s. You see these things everywhere, and then I can't stand when one falls out and you have to try to put it back in there. Oh, it's horrible. But anyway, I love that this is functional. Again, I play in this game. There's nothing that's blocked off that you can't get to. Like, your Sims can come out here to come out on the deck and the porch and just chill if they want to. So I love that that is functional. Yeah, that is our living room. There's also other spaces in the living room, like the stairs is a moment. I just love it. I love how simple it is. It definitely reminds me of The Simpsons. Granted, The Simpsons staircase is in another area of their home, but it's just something about an exposed stairwell to the staircase that just feels homely to me. Also, I had to go with the old school stereo set, like already still in its like casing. Love that. And then we got our kitchen, which very 80s. I looked at references, I looked at video tours, like people who have uploaded their footage from the 80s on YouTube, like they're just doing it to share, and they're showing off, oh, this was my house that I grew up in the 80s. I'm looking in there and I'm looking like, oh, what was the fixtures like? What's the floor like? What kind of cabinetry did they have? That's what I was doing. And so this was literally, inspired by all the stuff that I had been seeing. So we'll get into there. First off, let's start with these 2 bedrooms over here. Because again, if you've been watching, then you know, like I know, I have a rule when it comes to building houses. Building houses or buying a house, whether realistically or in The Sims, I feel like there should at least be three bedrooms. It has to be a family home. So it has to have at least 3. So anyway, this house is pretty big. Well, no, it has four. It has 4 bedrooms, but it's very spacious. It's very spaced out compared to the other 2 that we were just in. There's a lot of walkway and room around in this house. So over here is our guest room for the grandparents. So again, I went with an old style. We kept the idea of a rug. I didn't want to overdo it with the green, so this is a beige rug in here. These lamps just set the vibe for me. They're very old. Oh, my camera. Sorry, I got distracted. So anyway, these lamps set the vibe, and they're very old, which is why I used them. And also, this painting from Get Famous is also very old. It reminds me of an old painting that literally I used to see. So there was a bunch of geometric shapes and palettes. What do you call it? Memphis-style. That was very common in the 80s. So anyway, this reminded me of like that sort of vibe. There's a lot of Memphis style going on upstairs in the teens room. So you'll see that take effect. A lot of 80s like hints and tidbits. So if you actually grew up in that time, then you would know. Another thing very specific of the 80s that carried on, these are still in some houses. Floor to ceiling mirrors. Yes, had to add them here. Since where in the game do you see? I don't see people do this. Floor to ceiling mirrors in the bedroom. Yeah, I did that. I captured that. Like yes. Now, realistically, if it's not on the wall, usually they're on the wardrobe. Like there's a sliding door that's just straight up mirror. I couldn't stand those either, because once they get caught, it's just horrible. But anyway, that's our 80s guest room. And then over here is our primary. So this is so 80s. So 80s. I went with like an 80s style furniture set. Like you could tell like this bed came with this set or whatnot. At least in my eyes, that's the pretend to be with the color scheme and whatnot. But we also made this look like, they got some hand-me-downs. They reused some things in here. Like it's believable. Like they're getting by. They got enough to pay their bills and nothing more. That's it. Now the little boy out there, he was the baby in this basket. I just never moved this basket, so you can ignore that if you want to. We do have the floor to ceiling mirrors because it's a staple. I had to put them again, and then they have an actual closet. But yeah, I like how this came out, and I love the little clutter bits. It's very telling. And these what do you call these curtains? They came with the cats and dog pack, and I just think they are so tacky. Like if you're not using them in like a grandmother's way or like on a rustic charming farm, to just put them in your house like this is just diabolical. But I did it because I went for that vibe that I was going for, and I nailed it. So yeah, I love that. I love that. And also with the parents' room, they get a ensuite. So here's that thing with the cabinets again. Again, if you want a really realistic looking bathroom, here's the trick. Just put two cabinets next to each other with a sink and put a toilet. All you need is either, look, this could be a 3x3 or a 3x2. That's all you need for a full bathroom. But yeah, beautiful. We stay with that pink for that aesthetic. And again, if you're going to use the two counter trick, go ahead and put an object on the empty counter so that they don't prep food on it. But yeah, that's the primary ensuite bathroom. This is a little corner where mom knits. But yeah, so far, tell me what you guys like about the build so far. Oh my gosh, this excites me so much. So I really loved doing this and seeing where it goes. So all right, so let's get into the kitchen. Yeah, because it's here. It's just crying for our attention. Let's give it what it wants. So what I was looking up, popular kitchen items or choices of furniture were glass tables and rattan, I believe it's called rattan or rattan chairs. So at the time, I didn't have wedding stories. All I had was these from Isla Living, and it kind of gave the vibe that I wanted anyway. So anyway, yeah, so we put that here. Another thing was these like tile were there terracotta flooring? Yeah, very much. Honey oak cabinetry in the kitchen. And then the old school kitchenettes with the tile made into the countertops. Very old school indeed. Now, besides that, and having these like very tinted appliances to let you know that yeah, these are old, the stove, the fridge, and the microwave have a tint to it. They're very, very old. There's this TV. So yeah, a common thing back in the 80s was being able to watch TV while you cook. And so this TV being this small to be able to put on your kitchen counter made a lot of sense, because then you could just follow a recipe that you're watching, right then, instantly. So anyway, I thought, why not put that nostalgia back in the game? And it was so hard to get this up here. Yeah, I had to move objects to put it up here. But yeah, it's a nice touch. I'm very proud of it. So, and again, it's such a very nice kitchen, and I can't wait to see what you do with it, what you guys do with it. Like, I want to know, like, how you guys play in here, and what are your thoughts on the house for sure. And then here's the busy backyard. I picture Dad would come out here and like, game with his friends and whatnot, have a barbecue. As you can see, we have like the utensils on this table and the nicest grill, courtesy of Dad. And the downside about this house is that there's no roofing over the deck. So if it rains, so sorry, your the boombox will get rained on. But anyway, the exterior, it's nice. I mean, invited the folks over to come for a swim, and you know, this has one of those above ground pools, umbrellas and all of that. You know, it's extra. They don't need it, but if the option is there, then that is great. Now, before we move any further, I did have the garage to do. So let's go through the garage. So you go through the front door and you turn here, and this is the garage. So ta-da! We got a mixture of everything. So take it in, guys. Take it in. What you see is instruments, a microphone. We have a treadmill over here, a bar, and laundry. So there's a lot going on here at this place. But that makes sense for a garage to be able to work on your craft. You just have to, work on it with some other people. But there it is. All right. So anyway, we got music equipment in here. Why do we have music equipment? Because we have a teenager in this household. And that teenager said, oh, well, this teenager wants to be a pop star. So they have band practice in the garage. That's the storyline with this. And yeah, sometimes the little one comes to watch. So I like the story of that. And then, treadmill, do what you want at your dismay. And then I love how realistic this looks with the laundry right across it. And yeah, your presence, your knock. And then over here is the entryway to the bar, which is very garage coated. Very. But yeah, I love that. This is a vibe in and of itself. It's so nice. So yeah. And I found the mom. She's in the restroom. So over on here, this was a science project. Did it do good? No, it was very poor, but oh well. So this is an 80s bathroom if I've ever seen it. So again, that pink continuing, that's towel everywhere. And what would an 80s bathroom be without a corner tub? Yeah, a corner tub. That's just the vibe. And especially up on a platform. You would see this a lot happening in a lot of old school homes, especially the 80s ones. They'll put them up on a platform for you to step up on the platform and then get in. Yeah, interesting indeed. But other than that, we still, put a shower in here for you. So it's very nice. We got a little toiletry and all of that extra stuff. Yeah. Anyway, what's left is going upstairs. So we're going to take another trip, but this time to the second floor. All right, so upstairs we go. And here we are. We go upstairs, we go up to the upstairs landing, and mind you guys, this landing is better than what I've had in the other house. Why am I jumping? Probably I can only think from, must have gotten on the roof with the camera. But anyway, as soon as you go upstairs, you got this perfect view of the hallway. The hallway has a what do you call it? I can't speak. Look guys, it's late. But anyway, the hallway has a little nook, and it has a computer. So seeing as how this was inspired by the 80s, I thought, well, wouldn't it make sense if there was only one computer in the house, a computer that everyone shared? Kind of like if you guys were fans of that TV show Author as a kid, and how there was a family computer, and all the members of the family could get on that one computer, and yeah, they would share it. So I really like the idea of that, and having it be upstairs, like it's not used often. It's just like, sparingly something that they mess with when they feel like it, or have to. So, and I got the older version. So this is a computer that's unlocked by default. I believe you unlock it either by skill level or career, but hey, it's literally like an 80s style computer, so that's why I put it here. But before we do anything else, let's go ahead and tour the room. So over here, as you can see, there's a little table here with kid drawings. So this is the entryway to the kid room. So we're gonna go through here. And actually, I'm gonna go in. Wait, do I want to get lower with the camera? I think I do. Get in here. All right. Oh, I love this. So if we go through here, it is quite the room. So, but it makes a lot of sense. You come through, there's a mixture of like toddler toys and kid toys because he's grown. He's grown up in this room. We got the little Lego toy playset. A lot of the references that I had seen of bedroom sets for kids in the 80s were this. They were a bunch of primary colors, red, blue, and yellow. And they were very basic. They had the little round knobs on them. And I was like, okay, let me capture that vibe. And sure enough, I did. We used a bunch of primary colors in here. And all of his cool favorite stuff was easily accessible. But yeah, this was pretty cool. I've seen him come in here and play doctor or play in the wood chest. But yeah, that is really cool how this room came out. I even added the wood paneling to give off that old 80s look. So love that. And go back out of tab mode. Very nice. Now, as we leave this room, we go back out into the hallway. There's another room. Guess what this room is? Do a little guess real quick. It is the restroom. So, there's just this restroom upstairs. So, anyone that has a bedroom upstairs, this is the shared restroom. Now, as you can see, there's clothes on the floor here, just to simulate this is what the kids in the house use. So our child sim and our teen sim, this is what they share. And mommy cleans up after them every now and again. But yeah, so this is what's happening now. So yeah, I love this for the 80s vibe. This is amazing. And then last but not least, there's the one other room left in the house. It is our teens room. Oh, and since I so happen to have a large closet, right, I thought, well, why not? Had the space for it, went ahead and added it. Now, our teen sim is into music and he loves the Memphis-style, so we reflected that. And I love this. So, Memphis-style, if you don't know what Memphis-style is, it's like a pattern style. So, think if you have the flashback throwback kit of all those different like clothing with the mixture of like the shapes and the different colors, yeah, she would be behind it. So yeah, I'm very proud of how this came about, as far as like the references that I used for Memphis-style and the checkerboard and the use of primary colors. Like, we nailed it and it looks very good. Is this a glow in the dark clock and I never realized that? Wow. So anyway, as you can see, I've used quite a bit of popular, like just callbacks of the 80s. Like, glad we were able to do that. And then as you can see, this kid, he has a TV on his dresser. Well after the 80s, so you could tell this is a house that's lived in even afterwards. But I love it. I think it's pretty cool. It's pretty spacious for a teenager. So very nice. Very, very nice. So yeah, that's our teen kids room. So that was an overall of the whole house. Let me show you guys the floor plan. We have the little guy's room and a teenager's room, plus the shared restroom. But yeah, this has been our house, our home. It looks great. As you can see, the layout is well thought of. We've had so many moments in this house to look at, and you guys tell me down in the comments what you think about this home. Would you like your Sims to stay here or rent here for a night or two or for a week? I would love to hear your thoughts about what you think of the family, at least so far. So alrighty, thank you guys so much for watching. Why did I pull this up? I pulled this up to show you guys Stuck in the 80s Suburban. That's the name of the lot. And yeah, can't wait to see you guys' comments and what you all say. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you next time on my video. Bye.